I've been a fanatical Kajabi user now for a little while. Before this, I was using ClickFunnels for the better part of 3 years to run all of my sales funnels and those of my clients as well. And I've recently made the switch to Kajabi so that I could run all of my website, my email marketing, and my sales funnels all under one single business platform, since I'm all about simplifying. Now, if you don't already have Kajabi, you're in luck. I want to offer you a free 30-day trial. Find the link in the description below and have a chance to mess around with it and kind of test drive Kajabi. And of course, I'm here if you have any questions. Now, if you sign up with Kajabi and take advantage of the free 30-day trial in the description below, I will also provide you with my free Master Kajabi extensive course once it goes live. I'm Mike Gomes, and I started this channel to help aspiring entrepreneurs and small business owners like yourself find more financial, time, and location freedom by turning your knowledge and expertise into a thriving online business. So if you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. I will be providing so much free and valuable content to help you start or grow your online business. Today, we're going to quickly go over the different ways to customize your block widths in the Kajabi editor versus WordPress or ClickFunnels. Once you signed up for Kajabi, you'll be taken here to your dashboard. Now, in order to edit your website, first we're going to click on this button on the left-hand side labeled Website. And then let's go ahead and click on Customize Page. Each section of your page is divided into a 12-column grid. So adding content with blocks places those blocks within the section's 12-column grid. So this is currently a new website page that I'm working on my website, and I want to show you a few things here on this page. You can see here this little block called Turn Your Knowledge into a Thriving Online Business. You see this white border around it that says block up here in the left-hand corner. Before I mouse over it and it turns blue. This is showing you the guidelines of where your blocks are within the sections. As you can see down here on these three, there's 3 blocks inside of this section. On the left-hand side of the page here, you can see these are your sections. You have your header. We're under the hero with image. That's the Turn Your Knowledge into a Thriving Online Business. That's this header. And then we have our 3 feature columns right here. And if we keep scrolling down, you'll see all the other text and images and stuff. So these are the sections, and these are the blocks. If you do not currently see this block section, these guidelines for the blocks, go under your Settings tab on the left-hand side, go to Design Tools, and click on Show Guides. As you can see here, it says Show Guides around the sections and blocks. So if you don't currently see those guides, or if you don't even want them, you can go in and turn them off. Or if you want to be able to see them so you know kind of where your block is standing in the section, then go ahead and turn that on first before you begin. Now I'm going to show you the simplest way to change the block width. And there's 2 different ways we can go about doing this. One, on the left-hand side, we can click on right here on this section where it says Hero with Image. That's our section. We can click on that. And then you'll see that it's now broken down into, here's block 1, which is our text. And then we have our custom code, which I put over here on the right. And we can talk about that in a later video. But that's basically a way that you can put a spacer in there to keep our text off to the left. So now what you want to do is click on the word text on your text block over here on the left-hand side. And you see these blue squares at the top. And right now, it says that the width is 6 columns. So this block right here is currently taking up 6 columns out of our 12. Let's say we want to shrink that down a little bit, and we want to, it's as simple as this. Literally just clicking, now we're at 5, now we're at 4. So now we're taking up only 4 columns of the 12. And you can see how our text over here, the column got skinnier, the block got skinnier. And if we want to go back to 6, we just kind of click back to 6, and it'll re-expand our block section. I'm going to go back here real quick. I'm going to show you that instead of clicking on the section and going that way, all we have to do is really mouse over the canvas here where we're editing over our editor and just click on Edit on that block. And now we have the same options over here to change the columns. Now we're going to get a little bit more advanced. If you go down here on the left-hand side to where it says Desk Layout, let's say you want a little bit more control over changing the block or adjusting the position within the section. You're going to click on Desktop Layout and come here to where it says Inside Spacing and Outside Spacing. Inside and outside spacing is basically synonymous. If you're familiar with WordPress or you're familiar with like ClickFunnels, it's synonymous with margins and padding. And we're going to talk about the 2 differences really quick here. So in CSS, a margin is the space around an element's border, okay? While padding is the space between an element's border and the element's content. So hopefully that doesn't confuse you too much. It's actually really simple. So the margin property, the margins control the space outside the element, and the padding property controls the space inside the element. And since I'm not a huge web developer and I don't know a lot about coding, I have to keep that in mind when I'm actually editing any of my websites. Now in ClickFunnels and WordPress, it's labeled margins and padding, but Kajabi has simplified it so that I don't have to remember that padding is inside spacing and margins are outside spacing. They've actually labeled it in here as inside spacing and outside spacing. So for example, any outside spacing would be outside of this white frame. Okay, so let's say we want to increase the distance between this block on the left and this block on the right. Well, we don't want to change the padding because that is only going to, right now we're on this block, turn your knowledge into a thriving online business. We're under block number 1. If we make any adjustments to the inside spacing, that is the padding, and that's just going to make adjustments inside the block itself. If we want to create spacing between the block 1 and block 2, we would change the outside spacing. Let's say we want to give it a little more spacing right here in the middle between the two of them. Let's enter 100 just to kind of exaggerate it. And as you can see, it moved, it changed our page because we actually just gave it more spacing between the two. And so because our section wasn't big enough, it underlaid the second block over the first block. And I don't want to confuse you guys too much. I want to keep this really simple. Let's go back and I'll show you how spacing works inside or the padding inside of the block. So let's say we want to tighten up this text a little bit, but we don't want to come up here on the left and use our little blue boxes, although I seriously think that's the easiest way to do it. But let's say we want a little more customization here. On the inside block on the right-hand side, we can easily put, let's say 50 pixels. And as we do that, you see how the text changed? Now let's do 100. You'll see it squeeze in. Okay, so this is making a less drastic change as opposed to coming up here and simply selecting the block width. This I feel like we have a little bit more control over it. Let's say we shrink it in a little bit and you can see that the page changed just like it did before. So now let's say we want to come in a little on the left-hand side from the white border with the text. Let's try doing 100 and you'll see how this squeezes it in from the left-hand side, see? So I feel like here you have a little bit more control over things, and it's the same way with the top. If you want to put in 100 on the top, you're going to see the text jump down. Do you see the distance spacing between the top of the block and now where our text lies? Let's say we want to give more of a gap here on the bottom. We want to give a little bit more spacing to kind of space this section header out. Again, let's enter 100, and you see how that changed? It expanded this section to compensate for the change that we made with the pixels within the block. This is just a more customized, expert way to take control over your sections and your blocks. So one other feature that I love about Kajabi, and I know other website builders have this feature. I know recently the one in ClickFunnels I was clicking around in and it doesn't work very well. This one seems to work really, really well, is that we have the opportunity to be able to view, if you come up here to the top, to view what our website is going to look like on different devices. So if I click here, we've got different tablets, and then we also here have a phone. And you can see how this block of text is going to appear on this device. So remember over here on the left-hand side where I showed you the desktop layout? Well, if you go right below that, click on mobile layout, and it brings up a very similar window. Let's say, as you can see here in the center, it says turn your knowledge into a thriving online business. And right now we have it, as you can see over here in the menu, we have it left aligned. Okay, let's say on our mobile device only, but not on our desktop, we want to center align it. Well, since we're under the mobile layout section, we can center align this text on the mobile only, and that does not change our alignment on the desktop. If I go back to alignment on desktop, you can see it's still aligned on the left-hand side. So this is a great way that if you want to make customizations to your mobile layout that are different from your desktop layout, you can also do that. So I hope that helped you understand a little bit better about the padding and the blocks and the margins in Kajabi. And I know I've mentioned this before, but if you haven't yet subscribe to my channel so you'll get notified when I release more videos on this Kajabi series and any other upcoming series as well. Leave me a comment below and let me know what you thought. Feel free to ask any questions and have a great day. We'll see you next time.